Hey everyone, so I am back. I have watched the Mae Young Classic in its entirety, and I'm here to review round 2, the quarterfinals, the semifinals, and you're going to want to stick around for my rant at the end of the video. So without further ado, let's get into it. Round 2, episode 5, match 1 is Abby Lath versus Rachel Evers. Jim Ross proclaiming Rachel to be the strongest woman in the tournament. I call bullshit here times a million. I can think of 5 women off the top of my head who is, much stronger than Rachel Evers in this tournament. Kavita Devine, Jazzy Gabbert, Aisha Raymond, Shayna Baszler. I understand they needed some sort of story arc for Paul Ellering's daughter, but going with the strongest person in the competition definitely was not that kind of story arc. Sorry, it's not. Sick power slam from the top rope by Rachel. Abby kicks out. Abby then hits her alligator clutch powerbomb into her roll up for the win. Not much to say here. Quick match. I am going to be breezing through a lot of these because it's a lot to talk about, and I don't want to make it a 30-minute video. So up next we have Serena Deeb versus Piper Niven, my queen of queens. I love her so much, as we all know. So I just want to say, I give Serena credit for her steadfast resiliency against Piper in this match. She continuously tries to pick Piper up, and obviously she cannot do it, but I give credit where credit's due. Serena hits a 6 snap mirror driver. Shout out to my Twitter follower, Kier, for letting me know what move that was, because I did not know, so you're the real MVP. Piper goes for a big splash from the top rope. Serena moves out of the way. Piper still manages to hit Serena with her sick Michinoku driver for the win. Serena put forth a valiant effort, but came up short to my fave. And yes, I love Piper. She is my favorite, and I will continue to stan her. And a little quick fact, Piper watches my videos. I'm fangirling. I love her so much. Next, we have Mercedes Martinez versus Princessa Suhei. This match is all about the Battle of the Season veterans. We have Mercedes with 16 years and Princessa with 22 years experience. Both women put on a decent match. Mercedes wins with her amazing Fisherman Buster. Good, quick match. Next match, we have Kairi Sane versus Bianca Belair. Bianca is on some Mortal Kombat shit, and I'm living. She definitely reminds me of Katana from Mortal Kombat, and I think if that's her gimmick, thank you, creative, for that, because that is amazing. Can I just take literally 20 seconds to put Bianca over? I will totally eat crow, because round 1 I said I'm not into Bianca. Now I'm obsessed with her. Oh my goodness. This match was so good. So good. You need to watch this match. Bianca literally whips the fucking shit out of Kairi with her braid. She has this long braid paying homage to Mortal Kombat, and she's whipping Kairi all over, and I was living. Like, I got my life from that. Like, that was everything I needed. It looked brutal, to say the least, and that's why I was obsessed with it. Bianca hits also a beautiful 450 splash. It was incredible for a very, very close 3 count. But Kairi, of course, kicked out because she is the star of the tournament. Or that's how they're grooming her to be. So Kairi then hits her flying elbow drop from the top rope for the win. Kairi advances. For only 1 year experience, Bianca is very good. I think she's going to be the next big thing in 2018. Keep your eye out for Bianca. Episode 6, match 1, we have Lacey Evans versus Toni Storm. Hard-hitting match from both women. Both hungry young talent looking to make their mark here. Toni hits her finisher, the strong 0 on Lacey Evans, advancing to the quarterfinals. Lacey has a long way to go, but she is very good, and I love her so much. Toni definitely rightfully won this match. Up next, we have Mia Yim versus Shayna Baszler. I know Shayna is a heel, but in a tournament setting that has such a strong message behind it, such as empowering all women, it really pisses me the fuck off that Shayna avoids shaking her opponent's hands. I know her best friend Ronda Rousey did that shit in UFC, and it pissed me off to no end. It's very unprofessional and just pompous as fuck. Anyway, so nice suicide dive from Mia Yim, getting a 2 count on Baszler. Yim taking inspiration, paying homage to her trainer Tajiri by doing the tarantula submission to Baszler. Really nice looking sit-out powerbomb delivered by Yim to Baszler, getting a close near fall. Yim went for a 450 splash and Baszler countered with knees and trapped Yim in her rear naked choke, advancing to the quarterfinals. Post-match, we have Bayley, Charlotte, and Becky on the outside, staring at the other 4 horsewomen, you know, Rousey stable, and Becky looks and Charlotte looks at Baszler as she's like walking down the ramp, and they both say, "Wanna go?" and they point to the ring. So they're kind of showing that they are foreshadowing a big 4-on-4 match at a top 4 pay-per-view, probably WrestleMania 34. I'll get to that in my rant portion of this video. Up next, we have Rhea Ripley versus Dakota Kai, both incredibly talented young women, a lot of near falls from both women here. Dakota ultimately does advance to the quarterfinals by delivering her coup de grace from the top rope. Rhea Ripley is really great, and she's got a long way to go. She'll be there for a while. She's only 20, so the girl's got 15, 20 years left in the tank. I'm excited to see what she could do in the future. Up next, we have Candice LeRae versus Nicole Savoy. Candice LeRae wins with her middle rope swinging neck breaker, advancing to the quarterfinals. Episode 7, to get into the quarterfinals, we start off with Abby Lath versus Mercedes Martinez. Really nice crossbody on the outside of the ring from Abby. Nice German suplex from Abby as well, getting a near fall on Martinez. Martinez avoids Abby's alligator clutch and hits the Fisherman Buster from out of nowhere, advancing to the semifinals. I think like a lot of people who I've watched on YouTube who reviewed the Mae Young Classic are really sleeping on Mercedes Martinez. I'm going to put her over, to be honest. I put her over in round 1, but I'm going to put her over more heavily in round 2. She's really good. I knew her from years ago, so I knew how good she was going in, but I think she definitely deserves a lot more praise because she is that fucking damn good. She's a seasoned vet, you know, put her over. Match number 2 of the quarterfinals, Candice LeRae versus Shayna Baszler. LeRae delivering a fantastic suicide dive turned into a DDT on the entrance ramp to Shayna Baszler, getting a near fall. It was so fucking awesome. You need to watch that. It was so good. LeRae goes for her finisher from the middle rope, and Baszler counters it into a rear naked choke to submit LeRae, advancing to the semifinals. Now, a little bit of heel shenanigans after the match. We see Shayna Baszler cementing her heel turn by kicking Candice when she's down after the match, while Johnny Gargano is in the ring trying to help his wife, Candice LeRae, up. A lot of the fans hated that. They thought it was super unprofessional. And I mean, it is, but she is a heel, so you kind of have to give a little bit of leeway there. But she definitely cemented her heel role tonight. Up next, we have Piper Niven versus Toni Storm. Fantastic match. I love Piper, obviously. I'm going to keep sucking her off the whole fucking review. As always, sorry, not sorry. Nice running splash and senton combo from Piper to Toni for a near fall here. Beautiful back saber counter from Toni to Piper. Hip attack from Toni to Piper. Toni then goes for a German suplex and Piper counters it into her finisher, her Michinoku driver. And Toni kicks out. Yikes. Piper is frustrated, really pissed. Piper then climbs to the top rope and Storm quickly gets up and delivers a belly to back suplex to Piper. Very impressive move here with someone of Piper's stature. Toni is really strong, and you really wouldn't know it just by looking at her average height, you know, but she is really strong. Toni then goes to the top rope and wins the match with a flying leg drop. It's a very physical, closely fought match. Toni advances to the semifinals, and it was a great fucking match. I really hope they sign Piper and Toni for that matter, but Piper is my girl, so of course I'm going to talk about Piper, but Piper is so good for someone of her stature. Like, what? Like, I just love Piper because, you know, she doesn't have a super famous family member that's helping her get into the business. She's really cementing her own fucking legacy on her own accord. So I gotta give credit to Piper. Up next, we have Dakota Kai versus Kairi Sane. Dakota hits a beautiful running knee strike to Kairi for a close near fall in the beginning of the match. Fantastic running spear from Kairi to Dakota. Lots and lots of stiff chops here from Kairi to Dakota throughout the match. Another running high kick from Dakota to Kairi for a 2 count. Dakota goes for her coup de grace and Kairi moves out of the way, and Dakota sold it perfectly. Dakota is really good at selling, and I guess that's just from her experience being on the indies for 10 years. She's incredible, and I'm super happy that NXT snagged her up because she's great. Kairi hits Dakota with her flying punch from the top rope and gets a 2 count. Impressive. Dakota kicked out. Kairi then hits Dakota with a flying elbow, and unfortunately, Dakota could not kick out of that, therefore advancing to the semifinals. Kairi Sane. Episode 8, semifinals, we have the first match, Mercedes Martinez versus Shayna Baszler. This is a teacher versus student match. Now, Martinez trained Baszler when Baszler was in Shimmer 2 years ago, so a little backstory there. Baszler denied all handshakes with the other women she faced previously until now. She does shake Mercedes Martinez's hand, and a lot of the crowd were chanting, "Teach her how to wrestle, Mercedes." Living for the shade. That was amazing. I thought it was so funny. I'll get to that a little later though. Mercedes quickly getting physical with a lot of punches and chops to start. Mercedes is incredible. Baszler looks so fucking inexperienced next to Martinez with someone who has almost 20 years experience. It was very embarrassing to watch. Martinez hits the Fisherman Buster on Baszler, but selling the pain from her right knee that Baszler was working on early in the match, and therefore taking forever to pin Baszler. Thus Baszler kicking out, of course. Baszler wins with a Falcon Arrow into her rear naked choke and submits Martinez, advancing to the finals on September 12th. Final match of the night is Toni Storm versus Kairi Sane. Another incredible match. Toni Storm's always putting on incredible matches, as is Kairi. So obviously they worked well together. Toni hits her finisher pretty early into the match, the strong 0, and Kairi kicks out. Very impressive finisher. The fans are super into this match. With JR on commentary, though, continuously saying how young Toni Storm is and how she's just getting started in her journey of wrestling, it's kind of telling that she will lose this match. So a little foreshadowing there. Toni then hits a beautiful arm bar submission on Kairi in the middle of the ring. Kairi counters it into a cradle. Flying leg drop from the top rope from Toni to Kairi. Kairi then hits her flying elbow finisher on Toni Storm's spine for the win, advancing her to the finals against Shayna Baszler on September the 12th. So the Mae Young Classic, in my opinion, is great in theory, great matches, but highly sabotaged to a degree with poor booking and poor presentation. Throughout the entire tournament, it felt like a really convoluted way of getting Rousey and her buddies mixed into the fold. I just really wasn't a fan of this one angle, you know, taking up so much of the tournament and kind of hogging the spotlight, and I'm not a fan of that at all. And I just feel like this is WWE's way of trying to butter up Ronda Rousey by having her best friend win this tournament. And I don't want that to happen, but I could definitely see it happening. I could definitely see her defeating Kairi Sane, and that's a shame. But I could definitely see it because they obviously want Ronda to sign. And if, you know, WWE is looking at it from a big picture, they're going to want to do anything they can to appease the UFC's 4 horsewomen. I just don't really like this crossover bullshit. I know I'm in the unpopular opinion here, but Shayna Baszler is fucking terrible at wrestling. I'm going to go on and say it, you know. Yeah, she might have been great in MMA, but this is WWE. It's a whole different ballgame. And I just, you know, I just don't feel like she deserves to be in the finals. Why? Because she's best friends with Ronda Rousey? Okay. You know, I understand that nepotism exists and it's existed forever, and I understand that's why she's freaking here, because of who her friends are, you know, favoritism. I get that. And I understand that, you know, WWE is a business. First and foremost, they're a corporation. Entertainment is what they strive to do. So for them to try to draw in ratings, they need big names, and I get that to a degree, but at the expense of all these other talented women who have been in the game for years trying to make a fucking name for themselves. And then we have just Shayna Baszler with 2 years experience in the finals just because she's best friends with Ronda Rousey. Just so they can have a 34 match. The 4 horsewomen of UFC versus the 4 horsewomen of WWE. Like I said, I get it. I get the premise as to why she's in the finals, but it's just embarrassing considering how long a women's tournament was talked about, and then we're just going to have some bitch be in the finals who just came up 2 years ago. Are you serious? It's just really not believable. If she was not best friends with Ronda, she would not even probably make round 2 of the tournament. Just saying. You know, WWE is looking at it from a financial gain. And like I said, to a degree, I see that and I totally get it. It doesn't mean I have to support it or like it even. And I don't. I think it's stupid. So the best case scenario is for Kairi to win, even though right now I'm not sure if she will. Like I said, WWE is definitely trying to smooth and butter up Ronda so she could sign on as a part-timer to, you know, be a part of WWE and, you know, bring in a lot of MMA fans to WWE. So I'm over this whole crossover bullshit. So as a whole, did I like the first ever women's tournament? Absolutely. I think it was definitely passable. However, I just do not like how the tournament was set around this one angle, which is the 4 horsewomen of MMA versus the 4 horsewomen of WWE. I feel like they shoved it down our throats, and I don't really want that shoved down my throat. That's not what I want shoved down my throat. So, yeah. I think Tessa Blanchard was done dirty as fuck, and it's not right at all. I think Kaylee Ray, another one, done dirty as fuck, and I'm not here for it. So yeah, I'm completely over WWE pushing their fucking UFC versus WWE women's agenda on us. I see right through it. You know, it's stupid, but whatever. As a whole, I have to give all the performers credit, even Shayna Baszler, whatever. You know, everybody, for the most part, put on a great showing to the best of their ability, and I commend, you know, Kaylee Ray, Tessa Blanchard, Piper Niven, Toni Storm, Dakota Kai, you know, Sage Beckett, a lot of the women, you know, did a great job to the best of their ability. Like I said, a lot of these women were definitely sabotaged in a lot of ways because WWE wanted to push their agenda with the UFC fighters, so if you can get past that, it's definitely a good tournament and definitely worth checking out. So if you like this video, please give it a like, subscribe, smash the big red button down below, and keep watching for further videos coming soon. I love you guys so much.